October 1996. Lincoln High is loud and bright and smells like fryer grease and Axe body spray. The halls are packed with elbows and laughter that doesn't include me. Everyone's shouting over each other, moving faster than I want to. I keep my head down, pretending my Walkman is enough to separate me from it all. Most days it is. I'm Claire Evans, 16 junior. Not interesting. I wear flannel that doesn't fit right and boots that have scuffed toes from too many scraped walks home. I write poems no one reads and pretend I don't care when they get ignored. Most of them are about things I can't explain. Sadness I don't have the words for yet. It's easier to write it down than say it out loud. Mom's working double shifts at the diner. Dad's somewhere in Michigan maybe. We don't talk about him. We don't talk about much. There's a jacket in the front closet that used to belong to my brother. Mom says he's away like he packed a bag and forgot to say goodbye. Mr. Ellis is droning on about the scarlet letter when I stop listening completely. I watch the leaves spin outside the window instead. The sky looks like it's trying to snow, but it won't commit. Then he says my name, just like that. Claire. My stomach sinks. He holds up a paper like it's a trophy. Your poem from last week, the one about disappearing, it's raw, brave. My spine curls into the seat. I didn't mean to turn that one in. He keeps going, like this is good news. Which is why I think you're perfect for the pep rally speech. There's a moment where it's too quiet. Then Lisa, the kind of girl who always looks like she just stepped out of a catalog, lets out a tiny laugh. Her friends follow. I don't say anything. I want to. I want to vanish under the desk. Ellis ignores the silence and keeps going. You'll work with Joe Harper. He's leading the rally. A murmur rolls through the room. Joe Harper. Quarterback. Tall, clean, friendly in that all-American way. I've seen him around, always with someone, always smiling. He helped a freshman open their locker last week and got a high five from a teacher on his way to class. He and I have never spoken. Joe will find you, Mr. Ellis says, like I'm not even part of the decision. At lunch, I don't eat. I sit behind the band room and pretend to read. Jen and Tara walk by arguing about Scream versus The Craft. I stay quiet until they're gone. My fries go cold. I try to write something, anything, but every time I start a line, it curls in on itself and dies. After the final bell, I go to my locker and try to disappear into the noise. I'm almost gone when I feel someone step in beside me. Claire? I look up. It's him. Joe. Up close, he looks a little less like a movie star. There's a faint scar on his chin and a nervous way he shifts his weight from foot to foot, like he's not sure how to stand. I think we're partners now, he says, smiling with just half his mouth. I nod before I can stop myself. It's instinct, like flinching. Library tomorrow at 4? His voice is warm, not charming, not flirty, just steady. It feels like he's talking to me, not at me, which is more than most people manage. I nod again. Okay. He starts to turn, then pauses. You write real things. That's hard. People need that. Then he walks off. I stand there for a long time. I miss the late bus and have to walk home. I don't remember most of the way, but when I get in, I go straight to my room and lie on the bed like I'm trying to feel gravity more than usual. I pick up my journal, the one I don't show anyone. I flip to a blank page to write about what just happened. But there's already something written. My handwriting, but not my memory. Beautiful Joe. Just that, centered on the page. No smudges, no margin notes. My chest goes tight. I shut the journal and slide it under my mattress. It's probably nothing. A half-sleep thought. A weird daydream I scribbled before class. I tell myself that twice, then play my tape until Billy Corgan's voice puts me under. That night I dream of water, black water still and glassy, and someone standing at the edge, watching me. The next day feels like someone's moved the walls in the school half an inch closer. People keep glancing at me, not everyone, just enough. Jen asks if I'm okay when we pass in the cafeteria. I tell her it's nothing, just school stuff. Just Ellis being Ellis. But my cheeks burn when I say it. By the time I get to the library, I'm 10 minutes late. Joe's already there. He's got his jacket folded over the chair beside him, sleeves rolled, pen between his fingers like he's been waiting quietly, not minding the time. When I sit down, he smiles like he's glad I showed. "Hey, poet," he says. I smile, but it's small. "Hey." The lights overhead buzz faintly. One flickers. The library is mostly empty except for the girl shelving books at the front and the hum of the heater that never really works. Joe starts talking. Not about the speech, not right away. He asks about music. I say Smashing Pumpkins, of course. He says Siamese Dream is one of the only things that makes sense when he can't sleep. There's a pause when he says that, like he wasn't planning to say it out loud. I don't press. We try to brainstorm. I scribble half a sentence, then cross it out. He leans forward, elbows on the table. "What if it's not about school spirit?" he asks. I blink. "Then what's it about?" "Something real," he says. "People hurt. They pretend they don't. Maybe we talk about that." He's not smiling now. His fingers are pressed flat against the table, like he's steadying himself. "Don't you ever feel like you've lost something," he says, "and you can't even name it?" His voice is soft, almost too soft to catch, but it hits somewhere I thought I'd buried. I ask if he's okay. I try to make it sound casual, but it comes out too soft. Joe laughs, not the usual kind. It's thin, hollow, like it's trying to be something it isn't. "Yeah," he says, "fine." He reaches for his notebook, writes something slow and careful. His pen barely moves. I lean in just enough to read it. "We carry our mistakes." I try to say something. I don't know what. But before I can, he looks at me. "For Tommy, you know," he says, barely a whisper. My breath catches. The name doesn't register at first. It just sits there, familiar and far away. "Tommy?" I repeat, slow. "Who's that?" Joe goes still. His eyes shift, then drop. He swallows hard. "Someone I knew," he says, "a long time ago." There's something in his voice that makes me cold, a hollow under the words. "I messed up," he says. "I didn't mean to, but I did." I don't ask what he means. My chest is tight, and there's a ringing behind my ears. Joe stares down at the notebook like he's looking for a way out of it, like the words betrayed him. We sit there for a long time, writing almost nothing. When I leave, he walks me to the door. The sky outside is low and gray. Rain has started, quiet and cold. "Thanks," he says as I pull my hood up. "For what?" He shrugs like he's not sure either. "For showing up. You know." That night, I dream again. A lake this time. Still and wide and dark enough to feel endless. I stand at the edge, but I'm not alone. Someone is next to me. Not touching, not speaking. Just there. Watching the same still water. When I wake, my mouth tastes like rain. My pen is on the floor. My journal is open. New words stare up at me. Joe failed. My handwriting. Same loops, same tilt. But I didn't write it. I sit very still. The air in my room feels too thin. I close the journal slowly, set it on the nightstand without looking. My hands won't stop shaking. Not from fear exactly. It's something quieter. Sadder. I sleep with the light on after that. At school, Joe starts to fray around the edges. He still smiles when he sees me. Still helps a freshman pick up their books in the hall. But his eyes don't match the smile anymore. They're duller, less sure. One afternoon in the library, he talks about summer like it's something you can lose. He tells me there was a lake he used to go to with someone important. He doesn't say who. It was a good place, he says. Quiet, like the world held its breath there. He pauses. His eyes flick down, away from me. Until it wasn't. His voice catches just slightly. I pretend I didn't hear it. A beat passes. He taps his knuckle once, lightly on the table, then says, "Do you think fireflies ever show up in October?" I shake my head. No, too cold. Maybe the stubborn ones, he says, almost to himself, the ones that forget when to stop glowing. It takes me a moment to realize he's smiling again, but it doesn't reach his eyes. That night I try to write, but the pen won't listen. It slides across the page without meaning, like it's being guided by something I can't see. When I look down, it's there again. Beautiful Joe. My fingers ache. I don't remember writing, but it's my handwriting, my rhythm. I stare at the page like it might blink. Something about the words feels not threatening exactly, more like an ache, like a memory you don't want to touch, but can't help revisiting. Rally day breaks colder than it should, the kind of chill that settles behind your ribs. I'm not ready, not for a speech, not for crowds, not for anything. Joe hasn't called, hasn't left a note. I haven't seen him since the library 2 days ago. The last time we met, he barely said a word, just stared at his notebook like it had answers he wasn't ready to say out loud. The gym is loud when I arrive. Banners flap like they're being chased. The bleachers are packed, all red and gold, all teeth and noise. Lisa's front row, perfect posture. Her eyes catch mine. She doesn't smile. I check my locker before the bell. Not sure why. Hoping maybe. There's a page taped inside, folded, rushed. My name in all caps. Claire, please read this. For him. I tear it down, heart pounding, and unfold it with hands I can't feel. It's the speech, but it's not the speech we wrote. It's Joe's handwriting, slanted, shaky, like every word cost him something. I barely read the first line before the loudspeaker crackles. Claire Evans to the stage. Joe Harper is unavailable. Claire Evans, please make your way to the microphone. The gym swells with noise again. I walk in a daze, letter crumpled in my grip. I climb the bleachers, reach the podium, and feel the silence come down like a curtain. Hundreds of eyes, one microphone, a piece of paper I've never seen. I unfold it, clear my throat, start to read. We chase winds. We call it strength. We build ladders from noise and climb them like they mean something. But it's nothing when you let someone fall. The room shifts, kids lean forward, teachers still. The cheerleaders freeze, pom-poms held midair. It's nothing when you stand frozen, when you watch water take a life, when your voice doesn't rise fast enough, when you say, I tried, because it's easier than saying I didn't. My voice trembles. The words shake as I hold them, like they don't want to be here either. He was my friend, my brother in the ways that matter. We were stupid, drunk on summer, loud with the kind of laughter that makes you forget the world has teeth. I falter. My hand is shaking. I dared him to swim. I laughed when he slipped. I said I fought. I told them I dove in, reached for him. I said I tried, but I lied. My breath is gone. The name burns in the back of my throat. Tommy, not a stranger, not a story, not a headline. My brother, I see him again. Loud, laughing, always a step ahead. I see the lake, the light on the water, the way the trees leaned in like they were listening. Joe was there. Not just Joe, my brother's friend. The older boy with the gentle voice who always noticed if I tripped, who carried the cooler because it was too heavy for me. That day, I begged to tag along. Tommy rolled his eyes, but Joe smiled. Said I could come if I promised not to steal all the snacks. I remember the way he looked at me. Kind, patient, like I mattered. We sat on the dock, and I watched them splash and joke and race to the middle of the lake. I remember thinking, beautiful Joe. And I remember what came next. The splash that wasn't playful, the yelling that turned, the way Joe's voice cracked when he shouted my brother's name. I remember running, screaming. 13, barefoot in the weeds. Then the flashing lights, sirens curling around the trees. And then nothing. A hallway, a bottle, mom slurring prayers into a pillow, dad packing boxes, no photos, no name, just a jacket left behind and a word they both agreed on. Away. I choked back a sob. The gym doesn't move. I look down. The last lines in Joe's handwriting. I told myself I could carry it, that if I stayed quiet, I could keep it contained. But it grew. It crawled into my dreams, into my bones. I thought helping Claire would help me, but she didn't remember. And that was worse. I'm sorry. I tried. For him, for her, for Tommy. For truth we stand. I close the letter with both hands. I don't speak. Not right away. And then somehow I do. I remember him now, I say, my voice barely a whisper. I didn't, for years, but I do. The crowd is silent. Not a shuffle. Not a cough. I don't know where Joe is, but this was his truth. And it's mine now, too. I step back from the mic. Walk out before the applause can find me. I hear about Joe on Monday. Cutler Lake. No note, no struggle, just water. They say it was peaceful, that the surface barely rippled. Maybe he swam to find Tommy to fix it. Maybe he slipped, guilt too heavy to float. I don't cry, not right away. Instead, I go home, open my journal, write his name with a hand that won't stay steady. Beautiful Joe. Sometimes I think back to that moment in the library, the way Joe looked at me like he needed something only I could give. He said a name I should have carried, but I didn't. I'd buried it in a place so deep it stopped having color. Now it's all I see. Him and my brother, their laughter at the lake, that last day, that first crush. A kindness I didn't know how to name yet. I called him Beautiful Joe once, before I forgot, before the silence. He tried to carry the weight of both of us, and when I didn't remember, I think he believed he'd failed again. But he didn't. He was trying to bring me home, and now I remember. I remember everything, and I won't let go.